Namaste, Jessica. Now, what is this all about?
We're asking a number of prominent spiritual teachers and other women a single question, which is, what is liberation for women today?
Well, it's not so much what liberation is for women. It's what women do with liberation and spirituality and the path that has opened to them in the 21st century.
I think the liberation for women today is to give birth to the authentic feminine self for the first time in perhaps thousands of years, and to express that self through life purpose in action in the world.
Although I began as an adversarial activist, being against what I considered in those days, in the 60s, being against oppression, against inequality, etc., my sense of where our power lies is now in standing for and standing with and standing on behalf of the things we most deeply care about in terms of our common future.
So we're working all the time to liberate these patterns that are holding us back from being able to move forward in a way where we're happy in relationship to the masculine. We can challenge the masculine, we can ignore the masculine, but we're not in reaction to the masculine.
The first thing that came to mind when I read the question is, what women and what life conditions? Coming from an Arab country, I was born and raised in Lebanon, and adopting the West now as my home country, I can see different levels of liberation, because women are going through different levels of liberation that are equally important for each culture.
For me, liberation has something to do with the nature of one's holistic well-being. And you could have that holistic well-being in poverty, and you could have that holistic well-being in slavery. Mm-hmm. And other people would see that as a contradiction. But there are, at the present, still slaves, and there were people, especially in my ancestry, who were slaves, who nevertheless believed in their right to be free from slavery, but were within themselves still capable of not being enslaved.
I think what I've come to realize at this point in my life is that life is utterly insecure, and that's the good news. It isn't bad news for me anymore. I think when I was younger, I didn't want to face the nature of life. I wanted to believe I was immortal. I wanted to believe there was someone coming to rescue me. There was someone coming to protect me. I'm not avoiding those things anymore. I'm not denying those things anymore. I'm not spending my energy pretending those things aren't true. And I'm not going to people in relationships to fix me or coddle me or rescue me or take care of me. There's a mutuality in relationships. There's respect. There's a separateness in my own being where I meet another person separately. And I think that really, if I look at my life, has been the deepest liberation.
What is liberation for women today? I feel it's linked around a very distinct desire in many, many women to know themselves more fully and to realize themselves as consciousness.
I see that women's secular liberation is deeply related to the spiritual liberation of women nowadays. There seems to me to be many crossovers between women's liberation and the path of enlightenment in one form or another.
It's a fantastic time to be a woman, actually. And that we should take that opportunity and use it to the best of our abilities and not waste this human lifetime. Because now we have everything, really. We are educated, we are socially much more free, we are able to think for ourselves outside the usual paradigms. We essentially can do whatever we want with this life now. So we shouldn't waste it.